Good. You good?
All good, man.
What's up, little man?
Hey, congratulations to you too.
You fine, man?
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be supporting Spence, rooting him on. You know, I just like to support, fighters in his own right. I done been in Boots' locker room supporting him. So yeah, it's just crazy how the tables turn. When people get to a certain plateau and they forget about things like that.
You said, well, you didn't even want to shake my hand. I don't gotta shake your hand. Right? We get ready to fight. That let me know that Errol Spence is in the right state of mind. He understands he got work to do, pain to put in. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I think Tim Tszyu is looking at it like a lick, like he thinks Errol is right. I don't think so.
If Tim Tszyu fought Errol Spence Jr., who would win? Who do you think would win? Because
again, it's too many variables with Spence. The one positive variable is he says at a 154 he's going to be stronger. He doesn't have to struggle to make the weight, and he was, it was pretty known news around the business that Spence struggled a lot to make 147. So the one positive, the argument for Spence is at 154 he's more fresh. He's going to be able to breathe a little bit into his body, and it'll be a better version of Errol Spence.
So why would he need a tune-up fight?
Inactivity, not fighting.
He always fought.
Yeah, but he didn't fight every month.
No, he hasn't fought in 3-4 years. So now, anybody coming back from a 3 or 4 year layoff is gonna want a tune-up fight. Unless you're getting paid a lot of money and you don't have much left. Make that money.
Yeah.
Tim got to come out and be aggressive with a jab and not getting caught up in little arguments where they going back and forth with each other. If they trading, they sitting there trading back and forth, they either one of them got a shot. But whoever's being a little bit smarter than the other, I think has a chance. I think that's how this fight goes. I don't think Errol Spence just going there and just bully Tim Tszyu. But I think it'll be spots where he could play bully.
I said I would never want to fight him coming off an accident like that. Because when I beat him, then y'all gonna say it was because of the accident.
Right.
He beat Danny Garcia. I was in the crowd. I said, nah, he can't beat me. That's the first time I seen Spence fight live. I said.
So you knew then when you seen that?
I'm like, yeah, because it's different on TV than when you watching it.
Terence Crawford has pushed back against the growing belief that Errol Spence Jr. is destined to lose in Australia this July, saying the long layoff should not be mistaken for the end of Spence's career, and that many fans have underestimated what he still brings to the ring, with Crawford suggesting this matchup is far more competitive than people think because Spence is not simply returning for one last payday but could be using experience, patience, and strategy to catch an overly confident Tim Tszyu by surprise.
The Phoenix, Tim Tszyu!
Yeah, the Phoenix came in as I was in the ashes, and it's about rising from the ashes and getting up back to the top. So again, the rebuild stage began 2 fights ago and it's still going on.
Terence Crawford is not ready to write Errol Spence Jr. off, arguing that people who believe his former opponent is finished may be overlooking what makes him such a dangerous fighter. Because after facing Spence in the ring, Crawford knows how durable, powerful, and mentally strong he can be even in difficult moments. And although many fans continue to judge him based on their last encounter, Crawford believes Spence still possesses the experience, boxing IQ, and physical tools to compete with the division's best, warning that if Tim Tszyu assumes he is stepping in against a faded version of Spence, he could be caught off guard by a performance very different from what he expected.
I'm a fan of boxing. I'm gonna be in Australia. I'm gonna be.
I know you're gonna be over there. Yeah.
I'm gonna be supporting Spence, rooting him on. I just like to support fighters in his own right. I done been in Boots' locker room supporting him. So yeah, it's just crazy how the tables turn. When people get to a certain plateau and they forget about things like that.
We picking Earl? I'm picking
Of course.
Of course. Sean and Sean?
Of course.
Yeah.
Shot better.
We gotta see. We gotta see.
Wow.
B side is more towards Tim. I'm definitely towards Errol. I just feel like Errol, even though we haven't seen him in 3 years now, I think he still has more than enough to beat Tim. All that said, I hate saying it because I've been over there so many times broadcasting for Tim. I gotta look this man in the eyes, and for the first time, I'm gonna have to look him in the eyes like, yo, I know you heard everything I said, so.
I told him to his face.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it's cool. It's cool to be. See, and this is what I don't understand why people take it so hurtful. When we in like England and places like that, or overseas, like they tell you, and it's okay. Like, hey, you're a great fighter, but I think he's gonna win.
Yeah.
Afterwards, it's all cool. It's just a opinion that they have on one fight. It's cool to have different opinions.
And for me, when it goes the other way, I say, hey, I wasn't in that man's camp. I don't know what he was up to. I wasn't with him the night before his fight. I don't know what he was up to. When he went
That's an excuse. You make an excuse.
When he went in the ring and did something I didn't think he was gonna do, I ain't know.
No, you gotta just say I was wrong. Just say I was wrong. Congratulations.
Hey, be easy, bud. We'll see you next week.
Much of the online reaction is focused on the wrong details, as social media continues to fill with criticism of Errol Spence Jr.'s recent training footage under coach Ronnie Shields, with many viewers claiming his movements appear slower or less fluid than before because of his past injuries, health concerns, and car accident. Yet those quick judgments overlook the bigger story, since short training clips rarely reveal the full purpose or intensity of what is actually taking place inside the...
And people are saying, man, he looks so slow. He looks so lethargic. He looks, stiff. And I'm watching this, and as I'm watching this, I have to agree. He does look very stiff. He does look very lethargic, right? He does look, very slow. But I believe this is due to the fact that Errol Spence is simply working on things, right? What you see in him doing in training camp and in these clips is strategic. It's Errol Spence working on stuff, right? He's practicing. So he's focusing, he's thinking, he's going through the motions. I think Errol Spence is going to stop Tim Tszyu by the 11th round. I think you're going to see Errol Spence be explosive come fight night. Errol Spence has never been the fastest guy in the world, but when Errol Spence makes his mind up and he comes forward, he lets his hands go. He's quicker than he is fast, right? He's never been twitchy. He's never been, I think the fact that we haven't seen him in the ring for 3 years, and the last time you did see him, he looked very terrible against Terence Crawford. And so because of that, people are looking at the situation, they like, man, you are critiquing every little thing. And if you go back and you look at his past training videos, there's not much difference. It's just that he's thinking his way through because he's being strategic. He's with a new trainer in Ronnie Shields. He's going over things. So he's working his way into it. But when come fight night, you're going to see him put the entire package together. We haven't seen the entire package because they're not showing us the entire package. So come fight night, does he look stiff in these videos? Yes. Does he look lethargic and slow? Yes. But that's...
Several respected fighters, including Brian Mendoza and Brian Norman Jr., have spent time working with Errol Spence Jr. in training, and their assessment is very different from the narrative circulating online, describing him as a focused, disciplined competitor who continues to improve with each session rather than someone simply chasing another payday. While they say he has handled hard sparring well, applied steady pressure, and looked physically strong throughout camp, suggesting that brief clips shared on social media do not accurately reflect his true condition and may even encourage opponents to underestimate what he can still do in the ring.
I think that thing's gonna play out.
I think it's going to be a great fight, but I feel like the program we got going on over here is going to be entirely too much for Tim.
Even though EJ's been away for three years, we just saw Keith Thurman, and that inactivity, sometimes it plays a part in these kind of fights. Tell me why you think EJ is ready to take on a challenge like Tim Tszyu?
Because of his work ethic, simple as that. When he came into the gym, he was still, his main thing was to outwork everyone. So you ought to know, I'm watching that now. I got to outwork him, but it's just like he's 36 years old. Like you said, he took 3 years off. He's supposed to be, the older guy, the old cat who can't, the car wreck, everything happens on. So he's supposed to be off of his game. But no, he's still pushing and pacing, and not even just pushing it, but looking sharp while doing it. So no, that break that he took, and then like the conversation we was having, he needed that break to begin with, and now he got a bigger reach.
The late decision to hold the fight at 158 pounds has sparked plenty of debate and even influenced the betting lines. But what many see as a concession could actually be part of a calculated strategy. And some critics, including Keith Thurman, believe the added weight will slow Errol Spence Jr. down and make him easier to hit against a naturally bigger opponent. However, that view overlooks Spence's naturally strong frame and the physical toll that difficult weight cuts have taken on him in the past. And by competing at a higher limit, he may be able to preserve more energy, maintain his strength throughout the contest, and perform at a higher level instead of fading during the later rounds.
Do you feel like that, possibly favors a fighter?
Tim Tszyu, because he's already from a higher division. When welterweights are adding more weight, a lot of times they're just giving themselves an excuse to be slower, in my opinion. Because let's say the fight's at 158, right? And then they're gonna rehydrate, right? So he's going to be 168, 173 by the time he gets in the ring anyways.
It's actually right at 158, actually.
Yeah, so, but, you put a solid 10 to 13 pounds on, rehydrating and everything, so, and, like, that's from a welterweight standpoint, that weight should be kind of like, I know our bodies are growing in different things, and at this age and stage of our career, but that pool's not really going to be there. You'll be able to pull down to 158 from like the week of the fight. You can be like almost 165. I mean, not really, but like almost, almost, because you can practically pull 5 pounds of water weight in a day, and easily. So it just depends on the overall strategy. If he just wants to be strong and not worry so much about the pool, we can always assess the body at weigh-ins, right? Like, is he gonna be lifting? Is he gonna be is he gonna hold that weight? And is he gonna be kind of cut up? Is he really just gonna look bigger and stronger? Then, we're gonna be like, hey man, look at his transformation. Look at what he looks like in this.
Brief encounter behind the scenes added a personal edge to the upcoming fight when one fighter chose not to shake his opponent's hand, instantly shifting the atmosphere from respectful competition to genuine rivalry. And what may have seemed like a small gesture quickly became a talking point, signaling that the tension between the two men had grown beyond the usual pre-fight mind games and giving the matchup an even more emotional and intense feel.
He been having a lot to say, especially recently, and I don't do that. Like, you gonna talk shit about me, and I'm gonna say stuff about you. I'm not finna. When the camera's not around, we see each other. We, hey, what's up, man? And it's all buddy. Like, nah, it's wartime. It's time to go. We both signed a contract, so.
For a rising fighter determined to establish his own legacy outside of his famous father's reputation, the handshake incident was viewed as a sign of disrespect, and in response, the Australian publicly criticized his opponent, calling him a diva and embracing the growing rivalry. And from that point on, the build-up appeared to take on a more personal tone, with his preparation focused not only on winning the fight but also on proving a point against a former champion, while promising to test every weakness he believes his opponent may still have.
You, I'm sure, could have potentially had this fight here, but you decided you're going to Australia. You want to face Tim in his backyard. Why did you make that decision to go over to Australia?
Cause I'm about moments, and it's something that I enjoy. You know, I don't know if it's just, you know, some type of sick gratification, but to fight somebody in their hometown and fight them in front of, you know, their countrymen, and to beat him in front of how many thousands of fans is gonna be, that's gonna be a great moment for myself. And you know, I like that feeling. I like the feeling when I went to Sheffield and did the same thing, and I'm looking to do the same.
Some experienced voices in boxing, including Zab Judah and Sean Porter, believe the matchup could be more dangerous for the hometown favorite than many expect, and they point to a tendency in his style to stand his ground and exchange punches at close range while relying on constant pressure to overwhelm opponents. And according to their analysis, that strategy could play directly into Errol Spence Jr.'s strengths, especially if he is able to work behind his powerful left-handed body attack. And they argue that remaining in front of a skilled southpaw for long periods has caused serious problems for elite fighters in the past, making this an approach that could carry significant risks if adjustments are not made.
Okay, I mean, yeah. He deserving to that. Yeah. I know how them last 3-4 pounds is a bit. As meat and potatoes, it stick around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It don't just jump off like everything else. So that's okay.
Yeah, it seems like Spence don't know.
I got Spence by KO.
Yeah, when I heard that,
why? I put him in the zoo. No, it's nothing. This is my game like that. But I put him in the zoo, and he gonna react like an animal because he's been hurt. He's a wounded animal right now, and he's coming back to show the world that, boom. It's like taking a wounded lion and throwing back in the jungle again with it. He gonna show you. I'm a lion, always hit his death. You know what I mean? So I do believe in Errol Spence. I believe in his ability. You know, I always said that his comeback is gonna be crazy. You know, just that, you know, whatever. But he's back, and watch.
Despite the praise surrounding the hometown fighter's determination and work ethic, some boxing analysts, including Tim Bradley, believe there are signs that years of demanding fights may have taken a lasting toll. And although he is only 31, they argue that repeated wars in the ring, hard punches absorbed, cuts, and knockdowns from recent performances could have created physical where that is not immediately obvious. And their concern is that another high-pressure contest may test both his durability and endurance, raising questions about whether he can maintain the same level of resistance over 12 rounds against an experienced opponent known for applying relentless pressure and finishing strong.
He still got a lot left. Even after the damn car accident, he still got a lot left. He does. And y'all gonna see it when he fight against Tim Tszyu. Spence, all he gotta do is train. That's it. That's all he gotta do. And one more thing. Damn, I almost forgot about this damn thing. Yeah, Spence was high. He was high off of the drugs that they shot in his ribs. Man, come on now. You know how many people get cortisone shots before games and stuff like that? Come on now, y'all smarter than that. A cortisone shot is not gonna do that to you. It's not gonna make you look sleepy and drowsy. Come on, Spence, just come out and tell the truth. What was you doing? Yeah, you was on that lean. That's what it is. You was on that lean back. It was either this or you was on that drink lean. Yeah, you was on that codeine or something, bro. Your eyes was low as hell. You was, yeah. Go ahead and keep it a buck, 1,000, Spence. Yeah, keep it real. Shit, because, hey, that cortisone ain't gonna do that. Cortisone ain't gonna have you sleepy and drowsy looking like that the way you was looking during the fight week. It was that weight that was taxing on your ass. Yep, because your ass didn't train. So it was that weight that was on you, right? That's what it was. Yeah, you could barely, shit, when you losing weight, people, sometimes you can't even walk. You walking all sideways and stuff, balance all off and shit, equilibrium all jacked up. You walking like this, just like this. You walking like that. Yeah. And when you stand up, you feel dizzy and lightheaded and stuff. Yeah, that was a tough-ass weigh-in. That's what all that mumble-jumble he was talking about.
Errol Spence Jr.'s decision to return directly in a major fight instead of taking a tune-up bout has sparked plenty of debate throughout the boxing community, and some trainers and analysts admire the confidence behind the move. seeing it as the mindset of a former champion who is willing to challenge himself rather than ease back into competition, while others, however, believe the strategy carries significant risk, arguing that stepping into such a high-level matchup after a long layoff could be difficult, especially against a younger active opponent who has remained busy and maintained his sharpness in the ring.
My man EJ, Errol Spence Jr. coming back to fight Tim Tszyu, man.
Now that's the one we want to see come back, because one thing I love about Errol, man, shout out to Errol, because no matter what, whenever he come back, he ain't taking nothing easy.
Right.
He said, I don't take no tune-ups, and which is actually smart, because no matter how this fight turn out, he's a headline pay-per-view main event name.
Yeah.
The same thing Cambosa was doing. Even though he came back after the loss with Devin Haney, he'd fight a name after name after name, because it never brings his value down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing that Errol Spence doing, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hope he's gonna be not no too much ring rush, and you know, he ain't got nothing to prove, man. Go in there and just win the fight. That's what you gotta do.
And it's funny you say that about ring rust. I thought the same thing. Now, he changed my mind a little bit when he said, you know what, if I look good in training and sparring, why wouldn't I look good in the ring? So this ring rust is just a mental thing. So, I mean, I can see that, you know, but
Some critics have gone even further, suggesting this comeback could represent one final opportunity for a former champion to compete on the biggest stage before considering the next chapter of his career, while others strongly disagree, believing Errol Spence Jr. still has plenty left to prove and remains capable of competing at the highest level. And either way, the July 25th showdown carries enormous significance, bringing together an experienced former champion determined to reclaim his place among boxing's elite and a younger contender eager to secure the biggest victory of his career. And a win could open the door to even greater opportunities, while a loss would raise difficult questions about what comes next. And when the action concludes in Sydney, one fighter will leave with renewed momentum while the other will face a challenging road forward. And now it is your turn to decide who wins this fight, and whether Errol Spence Jr. can prove he still belongs among the sport's best, or if Tim Tszyu will deliver the biggest victory of his career. So share your prediction in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest boxing coverage. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.